You know what I realized recently? I used to care way too much about people understanding me. Like, if I had an argument with somebody and they misunderstood what I was trying to say, I couldn't leave it alone. I would be thinking about it for hours. I would be like, no, this is not what I meant. Maybe I should explain it again. Maybe they didn't understand why I reacted that way. And then I'll actually go back and explain myself again. Looking back now, I'm like, girl, breathe. Because sometimes people understand you, they just don't agree with you. And those are two completely different things. I remember one situation where I spent so much time trying to explain myself to somebody, and I wasn't even trying to make them agree with me. I just wanted them to understand why I made the decision I made. So I explained. I explained what happened. I explained how I felt. I explained why I reacted the way I did. I even started explaining things that honestly, they don't need to know. And after I finished talking, nothing changed. Their opinion was still the same. And I remember thinking, wait, I just told you all of that and we're still here. That's when something clicked for me. I was trying to convince somebody to see me differently. And why? Why did I need them to see me differently so badly? I think sometimes we confuse being understood with being accepted. We think if you really understand me, you would accept my decision. But no. Someone can completely understand why you left and still think you should have stayed. Someone can understand why you said no and still be offended that you said no. Someone can understand why you changed and still prefer the old version of you. And honestly, that's okay. I had to learn that because I used to think if somebody was upset with me, I must have done something wrong. Now I'm learning that sometimes people are upset because they didn't get the response they wanted from you, and that's different. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying communication isn't important. It is. If you hurt somebody, talk about it. If you've misunderstood someone, listen. If something needs to be discussed, discuss it. I'm talking about that moment when you've already explained yourself and you're still going. You know that moment? You're typing a paragraph, then you delete it. Then you type another paragraph. Then you think, maybe I should explain this part too. Girl, stop. Sometimes you've already said enough. And another thing I've learned, not everybody deserves access to the deepest part of you. Because I used to think being vulnerable meant telling people everything. Now I think being vulnerable also means knowing who is safe enough to hear it. Because you can give somebody your whole heart and they can still use piece of your story against you later. And that's painful, but it teaches you something. Not everybody needs the full version. Sometimes all they need to know is, this is my decisions. That's it. You don't owe everybody a documentary about why you made a choice. And then there's this part about changing. This one took me a while because people remember old versions of you. They remember when you said yes to everything. They remember when you were always available. They remember when you tolerated things you wouldn't tolerate now. And when you change, sometimes they say you've changed. And honestly, I hope I have. Because what did you expect? I'm supposed to go through life, experience things, learn things, make mistakes, grow, and still be exactly the same person? No. I'm not ashamed that I've changed. Some changes came from pain, some came from wisdom, some came from realizing, oh, I actually don't want to live like this anymore. And I think that's one of the hardest things about being an adult. Realizing that sometimes you are going to disappoint people. Not because you're a bad person, but because you finally started making decisions for yourself. And that's uncomfortable, especially when you're used to keeping everybody happy. Because suddenly you say no and somebody is disappointed. You stop explaining and somebody thinks you're being rude. You create a boundary and somebody calls you selfish. And you start questioning yourself again. Am I being mean? Am I changing too much? Should I just go back to how I was? And I've learned, don't go backward just because somebody is uncomfortable with your growth. And I think my faith has helped me with this too, because Jesus was misunderstood. People misunderstood his intentions. People judged him. People criticized him. And he didn't spend every second trying to convince everybody that he was a good person. He knew who he was. He knew what he was doing. And that made me ask myself, why am I trying so hard to make everybody understand me? If God knows my heart, why am I exhausting myself trying to prove it to everybody else? There is a verse in Ecclesiastes that says, there is a time to keep silent and a time to speak. And honestly, I think I've finally learned the silent part. Not every situation needs a response. Not every opinion needs a correction. Not every misunderstanding needs a 3-page explanation. Sometimes you say what you need to say and you let people think whatever they are going to think. And maybe somebody watching this is in the exact place right now. Maybe you're trying so hard to make someone understand your heart. Maybe you're writing this long message. Maybe you're rehearsing a conversation in your head. Maybe you're wondering, how do I make them see that I'm not the person they think I am? And honestly, I don't know if you can, because you can't control what somebody chooses to believe about you. But you can control whether you lose yourself trying to change their mind. And that's something I'm still learning too. I'm not sitting here acting like I've mastered it. I haven't. Sometimes I still want to explain myself. Sometimes I still care too much. But now I catch myself and I ask, have I already said enough? And sometimes the answer is yes. I think peace is realizing that not everybody has to understand you. Not everybody has to agree with you. Not everybody has to stay. You just need to know that you were honest. You did what you could. You know your heart, and God knows your heart. And sometimes that's enough. So yeah, that's what I've been learning lately. I don't want to spend the rest of my life explaining myself to people. I would rather spend that energy actually living. Anyway, let me know if you've ever had to learn this the hard way too. And if you're new here, welcome to It's D. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you on our next conversation.